Hello, Dave Ashworth here again. This is, where are we, February 14th, Valentine's Day, and the flowers in the garden look fabulous. I've just been out photographing the snowdrops against the snowdrop-escence because the light is beautiful. But unfortunately, the light is a little too bright and it reflects back off the snowdrops and into the camera, making everything a little bit too bright. So what shall I talk about today? I was thinking of speaking a little bit about consciousness and how we get into it. So when we're on the spiritual path, we start off working with energy. One of the first things we can do is work with healing. And as we work with healing, that opens up our energy system and enables lots of things to develop in our energy system. So our energy system consists of the aura, several layers of the aura, emotional body, I'm going the wrong way around with it, mental body, emotional body, and moving inwards, etheric body. So as we work from outside in, through the auric layers, the mental body deals with processing all our thoughts, the emotional body deals with processing our emotions, and the etheric body is a kind of transducer, and that transduces those thoughts and feelings down so that we can feel them in the physical body. So the etheric body is the closest body to the physical, and a transducer means it's a kind of communicator. It bridges the gap between the physical and the ethereal. So as we move into the chakras, we've got 7 major chakras. We've got some earth chakras below those 7, and we've got some higher light chakras above the crown chakra. But essentially, when we begin to, first of all, perhaps feel the energy of a chakra, and then later as we develop, we can see that energy. What we get, first of all, is usually the colour and an overall feeling of the energy that that chakra is made up of. But as your energy system continues to become fine-tuned, you start to see into layers which are almost consciousness, but not quite. But when you get a little bit deeper into the process of seeing chakras, you can see many layers, like slices through a chakra. In my own development, when I was working as a healer many years ago, in the 90s, I could see into hundreds of these slices in the chakra. And the deeper you go from the outside in towards the core of the chakra, the closer you get to consciousness. So we might say that the outer edge of the cone of the chakra is pure energy. And as you go deeper and deeper, you eventually reach a spherical core. And that is the doorway into consciousness. Now, as we move beyond energy and into consciousness, many things begin to expand within us. So typically, the next area we work in is in the heart, and the heart it's just limitless. There aren't even words to describe what can happen to you as you begin to penetrate the depths of the heart. Guidance is just reminding me to tell you a little story about my own evolution when I managed to open the consciousness of the heart of a client. And what guidance will do as you work with your clients, it'll push you into areas where they can use that third party, that other person, to open something within yourself. And on this particular day, I was looking very deeply into this person's chakra, and the guidance kept saying, go deeper, let go. And I kept saying to myself, I can't let go anymore. If I let go, I won't be here. I could feel that letting go at the very next level would be death. It's like you can't let go anymore, or you won't continue to survive. So anyway, guidance continued with the message, and I continued to try to let go. And then suddenly I shot through the core of this person's heart. And inside their heart, I entered into a universe, a completely different universe to our own. And as I went through that kind of conscious barrier, you sometimes see these things in films where you have a wavy wall which simulates moving from one reality or one dimension to another. And as I went through this dimensional wall, for want of a better description, I just emerged not only into this other universe, but I seemed to be traveling either at the speed of light or beyond it. And the expansion that took place within my consciousness at that point is just indescribable. So, to cut that story a little short, I went on this travelling journey in the universe and came back quite quickly, probably within a few movements. And I stepped back, and I just couldn't put anything into words. The client was unconscious on the couch, so that was fine for this particular moment in time. And I was trying to figure out what had actually happened to me, and it was impossible to figure it out. And it was this massive expansion of my own consciousness, but the consciousness which is seated within the heart. So healing and energy work can take us to the limits of energy work, where we burst through into consciousness. And when you go through such an expansion, what happens afterwards is, over a few days, your consciousness returns to its normal everyday level. But if you need to go into that space again to do work with the client, then you can get into it. So it's really quite interesting, because on the one level, if our consciousness expands to such a degree that we're in that higher expanded state all the time, we can't function in this reality. It's just too much. I found that I couldn't speak properly for several days afterwards until my consciousness had re-established itself at a normal everyday level. And even then, I couldn't explain what had happened. The only thing I could tell people was literally what I've just told you now. Was I went through the core of this person's heart, emerged into a universe, and what I realised when I was in this space, I think that the overriding impact of it was that I realised that this was the macrocosm within the microcosm that the mystics speak about, or the great thing, the huge thing within the small thing. So in other words, inside our heart is a gateway where we can enter into consciousness that is so expanded on one level, but also limitless on another level, absolutely limitless. And when you touch that, you begin to have a realization of what God consciousness is. It's absolutely everywhere. And what we're trying to do on the spiritual path is tap in to that ocean of consciousness. But what trips us up a lot is that we've got caught up in various teachings and religious teachings of organisations and churches, and that's been programmed at a very deep level within us to say that, well, you can't make it on your own, you have to follow these particular teachings. To a certain degree, that is correct. The original teachings of anybody that opened that space are very, very valid to anybody walking the spiritual path. And all the teachings from whatever faith or religion or school, if they've been written down by somebody that's walked that path, you know there's some truth in those teachings. And if you can find the teachings that speak to you or call to your heart, then they will open you at a most magnificent level. But at the same time, you'll remain who you came here to be. I hope you've enjoyed that. This is Dave Ashworth. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.